and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. At this time, is there anyone that would like to address this particular committee? Okay, hearing none, we'll move into our community development monthly reports. Peter Preston.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had 14 building permits with 2 new housing starts, 14 zoning permits, and 26 code enforcement actions, given that it's winter and holidays and such. We didn't have much out in the field. We are working with the magistrate's office on redoing our forms for the civil infraction ordinance, so that was working for a while there, but we're having to reformat some things for them. But what we were seeing is that with the bureau that we've set up, that folks were coming in and paying fines without going and encumbering the magistrate's office. So it was working, so we're gonna get it back on track. Another big event is we were able to close out the solar farms, phases 1, 2, and 3. However, we did require a performance bond with assistance from the county's legal counsel in order to account for anything that was left over, and that had to do with some porta potties and cleaning up their laydown field and such. I do want to place emphasis though, our performance bond had nothing to do with the roads. That is responsibility of the road commission. And so we just took care of it. We're going to make sure when they can get stuff off of there, they're going to get it off of there, or we're going to go get it off.
Okay, understood. Anyone have any questions for Mr. Preston? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairman, is Commissioner Holzhausen absent or excused? He is on this committee.
Mr. Chair.
He is excused.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, let's move into our first agenda item. Item A motion we will entertain to approve a resolution 22-01-03 endorsing the Shiawassee County Drain Commissioner Stormwater Management Guidelines. So it's really just me and
Commissioner Webster.
Commissioner Webster.
Oh, so, thank you for the hint.
Yeah.
There's so many to pick from.
I move to approve resolution 220103, endorsing Shiawassee County Drain Commissioner Stormwater Management Guidelines.
Thank you. I'll second that motion, so it's open, so you and I can discuss it, I guess.
Is Tony here?
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
Mr. Newman, if you just want to give us a quick brief.
County coordinator, is there?
Hey, so Tony and myself put this together, and he has several comments about it. There is a memo that outlines it. Important for your discussion is that when you go to your meetings with the different municipalities in the coming months, this will also be presented to them, especially if they do their own zoning, because at some point we'll want them to agree to it as well.
Okay. Anything, did you want to add anything?
Well, a lot of people ask what we need it for. The purpose of it is in developing the site, they've got to be responsible for their stormwater runoff, okay? And if they put a lot of impervious surface in, the water's going to run off faster onto their neighbors. So this here will help control that runoff. It'll help also if they're hooking into a county tile drain. They can't put any more water into that tile than would normally seep through the groundwater. We got calculations in this thing that they can use. And most engineers that do site plan developments know this. They got all this. So we're going to do it too, so that we have a maintenance agreement once these detention or retention ponds are put in, because there's a lot of them over in the county that's never been maintained. So we're going to have a maintenance agreement where we'll inspect them every 3 years, tell the owner what they have to do, and if they want us to clean it, we'll do it, but we're going to bill them. They're going to be responsible for it. So okay. That's what it is. And we have an engineering firm that does all of the reviews for us. So.
And Tony is splitting the fee with the county. So of what is charged, 50% will come back to the county for our part of the administration, and 50% will go to his office for the administration of it. And this will have a lot to do with what is called first flush.
First flush too, it's to protect the waters if there's an accident and we get a spill in the parking lot or something. Hopefully we can contain 80% of that spill into that detention pond. The cleanup will be a lot less money, you know. So Yeah, and it's all in conjunction with, I think it's the Clean Water Act of 2000. I think we're in phase, what they call phase 3. And Eagles,
Step.
yeah, they got 3 steps, and once we get into this in another couple of years, Eagle's gonna be enforcing this a lot more. Right now, they don't have the manpower, but they will be enforcing this a lot more.
Any questions? Yes, sir?
If you don't mind.
I do not.
Just a couple questions, Tony. You and I had a number of discussions on drains.
Mhm.
Fascinating stuff, of course. With this, it's, from discussions I've had, it sounds like we're already doing a
Yes.
lot of this.
Yep.
Would you sort of say is new that maybe we didn't do before? And second is this only for new construction, or is everything else grandfathered in for any of the new stuff?
Well, that's what we're having some discussion with our lawyers. We do need to look at this, because right now we've got a problem in Perry. This landowner sold, I think it's 4 different lots. Kentucky Fried Chicken followed our guidelines, put their own detention pond in, hooked into the county drain. Taco Bell was put in 2006. They put it's a retention pond. They thought it was gonna be a detention, but the outlet, when they put that big apartment building in, they cut that outlet off. So where Big B Coffee wants to go, we got Taco Bell, and we got the hotel right now. They've got no place for their stormwater to go.
Can you tell me what the difference is between a detention and a retention pond?
A detention, it detains it and meters it off-site, okay? A retention, you retain it and it's just gotta soak away or evaporate.
No drain with a
No
retention
drain, if
pond.
there happens to be nothing where they can find an outlet, then it's gonna be retention,
Okay.
yeah, so. And another thing is that we want this to be countywide, because even if they don't hook into because if they hook into the county drain, I'm gonna make them follow this. If there's no county drain that they're gonna hook into, they still should follow this, because like Brian said, first flush, be accountable for their stormwater and stuff like that. So that's one of the things, to get a little more teeth, and then we can get all the communities in, because Caledonia, Charter Township, and Owasso do send us their stuff. But we got like Bennington, we got another, Vernon or Venice Township, they need to adopt this, because they get a lot of building in their area, so that we're all consistent.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else with questions? All right, thank you very much. All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of moving item 8 forward, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That motion will carry on. And now I'll let you read it if you want.
All right. I move to approve resolution 220101 endorsing asphalt paving of the rural 34 miles of the Fred Meyer CIS Trail section of Midwest Michigan Trail Authority between Ionia and Owasso, Michigan.
I second that motion. It's my understanding that we're just signing kind of a letter to the governor saying, please help us with it.
It's a resolution requesting funding, and they wanted all the counties that are participating to sign onto the resolution, especially ours, because it begins, the paving would begin in Owasso, running away from the county, so it has a large section here.
Okay. Questions or discussion? It's a good deal.
No commitment on our part for money.
All right. So hearing no other discussion on that, let's go ahead and vote. All in favor of moving item B forward onto another vote on Wednesday, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion will carry. Anything else for the betterment of the committee? Good here.
I'm good.
All right. Is there anyone that would like to address this 2% committee today? In that case, this meeting is adjourned.
Give us a minute or two and we'll move right into finance. pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Chairman,
Okay. Call to the public.
Chairman,
Oh,
is Commissioner Garber excused or absent?
yes, she's excused. Yes, good card. Okay. Adding to the agenda, we're going to add discussion and a motion for a resolution to authorize issuance of a limited tax general obligation bonds concerning MERS. That came in Friday and we set our agenda on Thursday, so this will be added. And also we have, for one of the motions we have here, we have an opinion by Matt Taylor from MERS. That came in today also.
Then that goes right to C.
Item C, yes. Okay, call to the public. Okay, without that, okay. Julie, you want to give us the treasurer's monthly report?
First of all, on your bank rec, you've got in your packets, it says 11/1 to 11/30, and it's supposed to be December 1 to December 31st. That's a typo. So all of those accounts are through December, except the two that are in progress are big 9697, pool cash, and the road commission. We haven't received any of their year-end journal entry items that we normally do that reconcile. I'm sure it's all good, but we just, due to illness and the holidays and stuff there, we haven't gotten their info to go ahead and finish things on our end. So we're just busy cleaning up those year-end numbers and making sure we have things organized, so when the auditors ask for things,
Reconciliations?
we're ready
Yeah.
to get it going. I don't see any problems there. Well, at the organizational meeting, we spoke about the land bank. We have our land bank board members all set, so we will be moving forward with that. And end of January, I'll be attending a treasurers conference up at Shanty Creek, the 30th through the February 2nd. So I'm looking forward to meeting with the other treasurers and learning, gaining whatever knowledge they can help me.
Any questions for Julie at all? Okay, thank you, Julie.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Moving on with agenda items, you will notice that it'll be item D would be the resolution to authorize issuance of limited tax general obligation bonds. That'll be item D. Okay. I need a motion to approve the 2021 budget adjustments as presented.
So moved.
I'll second that motion. This is end of the year cleanup.
Yep, so between last month and your meeting last month, what you approved, and now, these were final changes that had to be made to make all the right adjustments and balance.
And balance right on. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. I need a motion to approve the proposal from Digital Marketing for 3 new websites in an amount not to exceed $15,000.
So moved.
Support. Brian, you want to comment on that again?
Yeah, so the sheriff had talked to us about a new website, and then I had talked to the health director, Larry Johnson. Essentially, we have 3 bodies of websites. We have the main county one, there's a sheriff's one, and then there is a health department one. All agreed that they're in need of an update. Larry would be paying for his out of the health department. The other would come out of the general fund. This is to get us started with the design, and then we're gonna have to look at content migration and other things to make them up and running. This would just be to kick it off to, this is the cost for it, but we're gonna have to go through some work of design and what the board would like to see in it, the proposals that we will get in of the different layouts and things like that, and you'll have to pick what you like. So we'll have some time before it goes live.
Okay. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, motion carries. Item C, I need a motion to authorize MERS to allow Correctional Deputy Richard Richardson to purchase 24 months of service credit as requested.
So moved.
Support. Discussion?
So every month that this has come up, there's been some discussion of whether this costs the county anything or not. So I've had a discussion with Matt Taylor, who is our representative. And the answer is, it depends. And I know that's not the hard and fast answer you want, but it depends if they exceed the life expectancy for which they are ranked on the tables, the death indexes. So for example, it's rather morbid, but if they live longer than they are expected to, then it does cost us money. If they don't live as long as they are expected to, it doesn't cost us money.
More than that, we make money. That's just the way it is simply. May I?
Yes, go
Way
ahead.
to be
Yes,
recognized.
we've discussed
It is
this.
very much like any insurance policy. If you buy insurance, life insurance, and the very next day you are killed in a car accident, well, you win. The insurance company loses. However, if you exceed that and you keep paying premiums, the insurance company, of course, comes out ahead on that. It is something, so basically, on average, what this is telling us is no, it doesn't cost us anything. Yes, in this one instance, it could, but on average, people will live, these mortality tables are based on hundreds of thousands of people experience. So on average, this is all set so we break exactly even.
In the aggregate.
Yes, that is correct. Never on an individual case.
So
If
that
everything
is,
was a perfect world, you know.
It is just as likely that the county will come out ahead as behind, is what I'm saying. And I think what you were saying.
that's correct. But that answers your question that has come up multiple times.
Yeah. Okay, any other discussion? Yes.
You know, I've been on the board a little while now. You know, I've seen these kind of things before where people ask for 1 or 2 months, you know, to kind of finish out a year that they wanted to do, and I always understood that. And I think we all know that I made the comment before that we could open up the floodgates. I think the floodgates are open because it's the 3rd month in a row now we had to deal with this. And, you know, buying 2 years, I mean, these folks are buying years and years. And, you know, I've heard, I hate to have someone come to me and say, we can't find workers, but we're just letting everyone buy years and years and retire. But I just gotta stick to my guns. I've been voting no, so I'm gonna stay consistent on this. So, Mr. Board Chair, if you may have to vote on this one if you want to.
Yeah, there's only 2 of us committee members here today, but the chairman, as you all know, can vote in committee, so if he wishes to do so. That would be his choice.
And my vote, of course, today, and I will vote on this today, is not necessarily a yes vote tomorrow, Wednesday or Thursday. It's simply a vote to move it on so that the entire board can weigh in on this.
Very good. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Aye. Motion carries 2-1. Thank you. Item D, I need a motion to approve resolution number 22-01-04 to authorize issuance of limited tax general obligations bonds to finance MERS.
So moved.
I'll second the motion. Discussion.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yeah.
Eric McLaughlin, our bond counsel, is here to talk to us about this. Part of the now we have not finished the referendum period yet. However, to maintain our timeline, this is the next step that we have to take.
That's correct.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee,
Welcome.
and board,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
coming.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me again here to discuss the pension bond financing. As you recall, the board adopted a resolution in December to approve the county's comprehensive financial plan and to approve the form and publication of a notice of intent. The notice of intent was published December 26th. That started a 45-day referendum period that expires on February 9th, 2022. At that point, or shortly after that date, we expect to file an application with the Michigan Department of Treasury for approval to issue the bonds to finance the unfunded pension liability. An essential part of that application will be this bond resolution that's before you and will be taken up by the Committee of the Whole and the Board of Commissioners later this week. The bond resolution provides a number of important authorizations for the pension bonding process. First and foremost, it authorizes the issuance of the bonds. Second, it formally pledges the county's limited tax, full faith and credit general obligation for repayment of the bonds. And what that means is that each year during the county's annual budgeting process, the county will budget the amounts required to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds that are coming due in that fiscal year. Third, the bond resolution delegates authority to various county officers to take the actions and sign the documents needed to issue, sell, and deliver the bonds to the underwriter. And fourth and finally, the bond resolution establishes a number of parameters within which that authority can be exercised on the day of sale. The notable parameters are a maximum principal amount that can be issued of $50 million, a maximum interest rate on the bonds of 5%, and a final maturity of 2040, and I believe it's October 1, 2040. The maximum principal amount number is intentionally high. Currently, it is expected that the county would issue between $43 and $44 million to pay the portion of its unfunded pension liability that state law will allow us to finance. The reason for including the intentionally high number is so that on the day the bonds are sold, if the market conditions are such that more than $44 million of bonds need to be issued in order to finance that allowable portion, then we can do that without having to come back to this board. On the converse, if the market conditions are such that fewer bonds are needed, then we can issue a lesser amount. Just provides flexibility to the county to do what is needed at the time to accomplish the task that it wants to. And then, like I said, once this is adopted, once the referendum period expires, we will apply to the Michigan Department of Treasury for approval to issue the bonds. They will do their review, schedule a meeting with me, the county, and the county's financial advisor, do another couple to 2 to 3 weeks of review after that, and hopefully we'll get the approval to issue the bonds at that point. We won't have a firm grasp when this financing will be completed until that meeting is scheduled, but if all goes according to plan, we'll be done with the financing, proceeds in hand, and MERS paid by approximately mid-April. Are there any questions?
Do you want to have any questions?
I would just note that the reason that it's on for today, even though the referendum period hasn't ended, the board does not meet before February.
Also keep in mind is that really low interest rates. And we all know what the economy is like right now, and the Fed has been toying with the idea of raising interest rates. That means we would have to pay more interest. So if we can get this all in and finished up and taken care of, now it's probably the lowest we could ever finance it in our lifetime. Yes. Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. 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 Motion carries. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we now have a call to the public. Is there any other at this time? Anyone want to speak at this time? If not, motion adjourned. Thank you.